I know you've got a crossing that you're going to do shortly, but just set the scene quickly for us ahead of today's by-elections before you do so.
Okay. Well, even as you have rightfully stated that the area of Nongoma has been, for many years, been a stronghold of the IFP, Inkatha Freedom Party. But since the arrival of the National Freedom Party, the playing fields have sort of changed to be leveled. You're seeing now the ANC competing against the IFP as well as the National Freedom Party. So today there is a by-election taking place. This obviously is as a result of the former three IFP councillors who defected to the ANC. But to just take us through the whole process and what exactly we can expect today is our reporter who's based at the polling station, Ayanda Mhlongo. Ayanda, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Simpiwe, and to Eben as well. Good morning, guys.
Okay. Ayanda, have the polling stations been open?
Yes, indeed, the polling stations were open today, this morning from 7 o'clock. So far, we've arrived. We arrived here at around 6 o'clock or 6:30 rather this morning, and I've already visited about 6 of the polling stations. Have spoken to at least 2 presiding officers. Currently we are in Ward 11, and everything really is it's all systems go. It's a huge area, of course. If I can just tell you, we've got 3 wards, as you were alluding to. There's Ward 5, there's Ward 10, and there's Ward 11, with about an average of 7 voting stations in each of the wards, and we can count over 12,000 voters are expected to cast their vote in all 3 of the wards. So far, it's a bit quiet. I'm at one of the voting stations now. We are outside. It's still very much quiet. People are slowly trickling in. There's only at the moment been around 10 people that have come through to vote. The presiding officers are saying that it's likely to pick up during the course of the day. But of course, we are going to be here for the entire day, and we'll be monitoring, and hopefully we'll see more people coming through to vote as the day progresses.
Well, and going into these by-elections, one can say that campaigning by these 3 political parties has been very intense. What can you tell us about that? Has there been any reports of safety, maybe concerns?
Yeah, indeed. As you're saying, the campaigning has really been intense. We know that the 3 main parties, ANC, the IFP and the NFP, have had huge rallies here in the build-up to the by-election. And I tell you, Simpiwe, just driving in from the main road into the town of Nongoma, you'd really think that this is a national election, for a national election. From the posters, there are hundreds of posters that have been put up on the streets, and you really don't even have to ask what is happening in this area. You can just see that there's an election. The IEC has also got posters in almost every post throughout the rural areas, outside the voting stations. Obviously, you know, with the IEC rules that the political parties are allowed to have stands outside in every one of the voting stations. They've got huge marquees. You've got the ANC, the IFP, and the ANC, the NFP outside. Also, the political parties, the ANC for one has brought its entire leadership. They are here in Nongoma. The NFP, the president, Zanele Magwaza Msebi, she is also here visiting the various polling stations. We've also got the IFP leadership. They are all here. They have sent, there are hundreds of party supporters that are outside, last-minute campaigning, of course, going around with loud hailers, trying to get people to come out and vote. So far, Simpiwe, no reports. We have spoken to the police earlier this morning, whether there have been any incidents of intimidation. No. So far, the situation is quiet, but really, I can tell you these members of the political parties are out in full force.
Well, Anna, do you have perhaps information to just tell us as to when we can expect the outcome of the by-election?
Well, the polling stations are expected to close at 7 p.m. this evening. Thereafter, the counting will then start, and it would depend, of course, on how many people vote. As I said, each of the wards, there's just over 4,000 people that are expected, and possibly, according to the IEC tells us, maybe around 9 o'clock this evening, we will then be able to get the results. Just the police presence as well. There is a massive police presence here. I cannot tell you how many police, of course, they wouldn't be able to give us that number, but outside the polling stations, there are scores of police that have been deployed. There are also police in the various units that are also driving around just to ensure that there's police visibility as well. And we understand that the police are going to continue with their visibility, continue to be stationed outside the polling stations up until the results have been counted. Others will continue to just monitor the area from tomorrow as well.
Well, that's our reporter based at the polling stations at Nongoma, Ayanda Mhlongo. Ayanda, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Mpewe.
Thank you very much.